So in the light of, if you can call it that, my last recording, how would I reasonably expect my ideas to catch on or influence the future? Well, I see it from my point of view, which is with the experience of only the past of now, where I am to date. Whereas you of the future come at it with a different foundation. You come at it with the foundation that you have in the future. And you might then casually view the impact that, for argument's sake, my recordings had on the past. Which might be absolutely zero, of course, but let's supposing I'm the great revelation that I would love to be, that blessed humanity from the aeons that then followed. In fact, all eternity that then followed. Okay, got that? No, you haven't. I've got it from my point of view, but you see it from yours, and you might look at it and say, do you see this was a startling step on what has now become our view of ... theory, and our current values of ... Whereas I had no conception of this at all, of course. All I had was what seemed a good idea in the context of the experience I have now. And even if you ask me in 20 years' time, 30, 40, 50 years' time, if I live that long, or if I come back and assess the situation, I would no longer be seeing it from just that point of view, but from the point of view of what I'm at that time to come. It's a bit extraordinary, isn't it? Do you see history is changing as regards our view of it, which is the historicity? And the historicity has part of its causes and conditions coming from the time since then to the now of the person that's holding the historicity. There may be a concrete history, but it's not open to us. We have only the eyes and the experience that we have from which to view it. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Dad. Almost absurdly, then, I'm saying that the history changes through time. And better to use the word historicity. That the story of the past is eternally evolving. So that, Alexander the Great perhaps wasn't so great. Now we see him in the context of, say, the Indian view as opposed to the Greek view, or really not the Greek view at all. It may have been seen as a tyrant from the Greeks' point of view. But from, say, the 20th century point of view of Alexander, which is different was different to what the 21st century view of him is. Or William the Conqueror, who was perhaps seen as a good man from the 21st century, who, or from a religious view of the late 20th century, where he's seen as setting up parishes throughout England and building cathedrals and taking what he understood to be his rightful place and organising society in a world that was, very black and white, clear cut from some sort of religious view. So he's William the Great, not William the Conqueror. And, my mum would have seen and did see Jesus as a very modern man, way before his time. Hardly the Christian religious view of the Messiah, and so on and so forth. And if I can overstate the case, my view has been that Jesus is me. That, one can think and feel as if one were Jesus and what his purpose is and so on. His self, if you like. But of course it's the conception of such in my mind, which again changes through time. As far as I know, though even if I review that, I think to myself when I was probably less than 10, I would lay in bed and think of the Christmas story. I had a song, a hymn sort of thing that we sang at school, children's hymn. Winds through the olive trees softly did blow, round little Bethlehem long, long ago. Stars in the night sky, something like, but that may be coming on to another hymn now. Long, long ago, however the little song went. And I wouldn't say I imagined being Jesus. I felt I was Jesus of the story, being born in a manger. I am that. I receive information that comes from outside, beyond the body, so to speak. But it's not to me, it's as if I'm the living that I'm looking at. I'm the tree that's being cut down. Oh, I don't want that to happen. I'm, if you like, the Jesus that's being crucified. And I don't want that to be happening for him. Very strongly, I might point out. Such that desire changes my entire theology. I don't want it to be happening to have happened for the world. And Marshall comes up with a story that matches that, which is that it's a story. It's okay, love. It's just a story. And that enables me to be so much less troubled that it's just saying something, but not actually happening, not actually true of the past. And the past is uncertain, so I'm free to think this, and greatly relieved and blessed by my story of it, that it did not happen, that this appalling injustice did not take place in fact, but is a story to teach us that we, armed with such, most happily do our best to avoid such ever happening, such injustice, such suffering. To me, you see, I found the crucifixion story unbearable, unbearable to think upon, unbearable to watch. I'm appalled at the way Christians were entertained by watching renderings of the crucifixion, whether it's from the pulpit or whether it's from the film world. I just left the room, and there's no way I could stay in the presence of such discourse. It's not tolerable to me that this be a reality, and there's enough uncertainty in this wonderful universe for me to dismiss it as not true, not a story, sorry, not a reality, but a story. Thank you, God. You've rescued me from the possibility or the necessity of lingering upon this as a reality. But I thank you for the teaching, for it's made me so much clearer what I value and what I don't. Here I stand, all because of a story. Never, ever underestimate the impact a story can have on the whole of civilization and indeed your life eternal. How magnificently wonderful. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Well, as you can imagine, I didn't expect that lot to come.